Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope you guys had a great and just awesome holiday weekend. Got an opportunity to spend time with friends and family. Welcome back to Sportsology. I am your host, Ryank. If you haven't watched Sportsology before, essentially this is just giving me the opportunity to come on here and talk about my two areas of expertise. I do technology advising all day long. Then I just kind of pivot over to being a full-time daily fantasy sports expert. Two things I really enjoy talking about. So the show is just an opportunity. Hopefully people can learn some stuff if I take a few minutes and just shoot out some information on it. If you might be new to the show also, anybody willing to like it, retweet it, subscribe to this channel, much appreciated. If you enjoy talking technology or sports, the easiest way to get notifications that a new video is out is by subscribing to the channel. Today we will start by talking technology, and what I want to talk about right now, we're going to talk about camera security. But more importantly, what I want to talk about is being dollar smart as opposed to being penny smart. I think a lot of people have probably heard the saying before. It talks about being penny wise but being dollar dumb. I want to talk about being dollar smart. And we see this all the time in technology sales where people try to save a few dollars and it ends up being very disadvantageous for them. It doesn't work out in their benefit. And I think we've probably all done it in our personal lives before. I know specifically that I went out to buy a new lawnmower last week. I tried to buy something that was a little less expensive, thinking that I'd buy a nicer new mower about 2 years from now. I should have done it. I tried cutting my lawn yesterday. It didn't work out very well. Now I have to clean it off, bring it back, return it, and upgrade to the nicer one because it's not cutting through a certain type of tall fescue. That's on me. I tried to save money. What my client did here was they started, it's a client of mine that's here local to kind of close to Little Chute area, but they work with high-end farm equipment. This stuff is very, very expensive. So they started getting regular theft outside of some of these larger items, stuff like I said that cost thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. People can just come onto their lot after hours, and with the right equipment, they can literally just pick this stuff up and take it. Very few people have the right equipment to do it, but those people are out there. Now, after several decades in business, theft had never been something they had really experienced or had a problem with, but it started happening on a regular basis. After several times of dealing with the police, he gave me a call and said, hey, we're having some troubles and some issues with theft. Do you guys do security? Could you come out here and talk to us? So I set up my time with our security expert. We went out, we walked the property with him, we gave our advisements, and we ended up putting in about 5 cameras, doing the wiring, putting in the NVR for them. I actually was kind of under the impression from what they told me, I thought the cameras would be enough. I thought the way they described it, it was unfortunately either an employee or a customer of theirs were the two likely scenarios. And maybe hopefully the cameras would just be enough to circumvent the issues. And actually they ended up catching the guy. It was not an employee. It was not a current customer of theirs, which is nice, makes it get a little more faith in humanity. But they ended up catching the guy courtesy of the cameras and working with the police on it when they come back and they were hit again. So by spending, they didn't have to spend a lot. You know, this wasn't a major renovation for them, wasn't a huge upgrade. They spent about $10,000, and this will end up saving them money in the long run. A lot of times with theft, it's going to get covered under insurance, but you still have your deductibles. You still have the time and effort that goes into try to cleaning up after a situation like this. And just ultimately, it doesn't make you very happy. So they spent the money, they fixed it, haven't had a problem since then. So it ended up being a very good decision for them to go ahead and put in the cameras and all the equipment that goes along with it. If you want to talk security, please send me an email. I have an internal expert who's been working with doing the security thing for decades now. This guy knows about as much about camera security as you're going to find anybody in the Wisconsin area. If you'd be interested in talking to him, if that's something that you have that's maybe a need of yours, let me know, and I'd love to come talk to you about it. So now that we've done that, let's pivot over and talk about a little fantasy sports. Obviously, this time of the year, we're going to talk baseball, as it's really the only sport going on for the most part, especially earlier on in the week if we're not talking golf. And I'm going to run through what is kind of just a feeler cash-up lineup for right now. This is something I spend about 10 minutes in the morning just kind of giving my initial thoughts on. A lot of the stuff's likely to change, so don't play it verbatim, but this is what I'm looking at as of right now. Starting out with the pitchers, I'm going to go with Steven Matz as my #1 guy for the day. Lots of great pitchers at your disposal, but Arrieta's all the way up there at 13,000, and he's starting to come back to reality a little bit. He's still, you know, right up there with Kershaw as kind of 1A as the best pitchers in the game right now. But statistically, he's come back to reality a little bit, so I don't want to spend all the way up on him. Jose Fernandez has been phenomenal lately, but Pittsburgh is really hitting the ball, so I don't want to spend up on him. What I do like is Steven Matz, who has been awesome. Outside of his first start, he's been incredible this year. And he's going up against a Chicago White Sox team where they're in New York, so they're in a pitcher's park. And the White Sox are in a bit of a slump right now. They haven't won in quite some time, so take advantage of a team not playing very well. Next up, I'm going to go over and take advantage of our Brewers and go with Mike Leake as my second pitcher. He's only 7,600, so this allows me to put some money into my offense. And with the way the Brewers are hitting, with Braun somewhat injured right now, I like the idea of going with Leake. Okay, catcher. This one's definitely a possibility to change, but I got Tucker Barnhart in there. He's played a few days in a row, so I'm going to have to watch that one. But catcher's always a position I tend not to spend a lot of money on anyway, unless there's somebody out there that I really, really like on the day. He's expensive, but I really like David Ortiz today. I'm a big, big fan of David Ortiz. He has the matchup. He is absolutely mashing at the plate right now. Has been all season long. He's usually pretty close to a sure thing to at least give you a few points, and there's a lot of days where he gives you double digits. All right, moving along to second base, I want to get some of the guys from Colorado in there today. That's one of the reasons I wanted to spend down to one of my pitchers, is so I could get a couple of guys from the Rockies. They got a sweet matchup with John Moscott coming off the DL, so in game in Coors, that's a game you're going to want to target. So I went with Daniel Descalso at second base. Third base, I'm just going to simply ride a hot hand versus a weak pitcher, Eduardo Nunez from the Minnesota Twins. Shortstop, I'm going to go with one of my heroes from last night, Freddie Galvis. Helped me win my cash lineup last night. Freddie and Eric Hosmer are a big part of that. Hosmer with the late home run for the win. Thank you, Hos. But I'm going to put Freddie Galvis in there at shortstop. Then I move along to my outfield, where I got a good number of dollars on Charlie Blackmon and Carlos Gonzalez of the Rockies. I like that matchup a lot. I want to take advantage of it. Cargo was in a little bit of a slump, but he's locked in right now. And then with my last remaining $2,900, I'm currently looking at Jeff Francoeur, who's had a little bit of resurgence over the last few games and is hitting very well. That one's possible to change. PB's actually been a lot worse versus left-handers, and he's actually pitched a lot better as of late. So it is possible that I'd remove Francoeur, but just as an initial thought process, that's where I went with that. All right, guys, that's what I got going on for right now. As you can see, I am working from home right now. I'm going to work from home a lot this week and next week. Reason being is my son goes to a private school, and they get out about 2 weeks earlier in Green Bay, which doesn't give me a lot of places to send him, which means I'm going to try to work from home as much as possible. I bring that up because there is so many cool technologies out there at your disposal that will allow workers to work from home, and some people are significantly more productive when they work at home. If you got any questions on any of this, feel free to reach out. I'd love to talk to you about it. Besides that, have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.